The story begins with a man named Johnny Dog, whose neck is fastened with a leash like that of a trained animal. The leash remains on him. He does not harm a single soul. Johnny's owner, Victor, is a ruthless loan shark who lends money to people. When the repayment deadline passes and the borrower fails to return the money, Victor simply removes Johnny's leash. Johnny then viciously beats those individuals, after which Victor calmly approaches them, retrieves his money, and issues a clear warning that next time, Johnny will not be stopped so easily. After this, Victor takes Johnny to other debtors from whom money must be recovered. Yet despite Johnny making Victor's most dangerous work effortless, Victor never shows him even a shred of respect. He treats Johnny like an actual dog, constantly scolding and humiliating him as if that is his rightful place in the world. Johnny is not even given a room to sleep in. Instead, he is locked inside a cage, just like an animal. One day, after returning from a fight, one of Victor's men notices that blood is streaming heavily from Johnny's head. He informs his boss that Johnny has been injured. Instead of tending to his wounds, Victor dismissively orders that Johnny be given bandages, adding that he will apply them himself. The tragedy is that Johnny's mind is childlike, and he has no idea how to use a bandage because he has never seen the outside world. His entire life, from childhood to the present, has been confined within that cage. He lives in complete isolation, with no one to talk to and no human interaction whatsoever. That night, Johnny finds a book inside his cage, filled with letters of the alphabet. He slowly flips through the pages, gazing at the drawings, and eventually comes across an illustration of a piano. Upon seeing it, he gently runs his fingers over the image, as though sharing a forgotten bond with the instrument, as if some memory buried deep within him is quietly stirring. Around the same time, Victor arrives with a woman and is just about to get intimate with her when she suddenly notices Johnny locked inside the cage below. Horrified by the sight, she screams and runs away. As a result, Victor's money and his night are both ruined in one spectacular disaster, and he explodes in rage, hurling abuses at Johnny. However, Victor's words barely affect Johnny anymore because he has lost the ability to feel what is good or bad. The next day, Victor takes Johnny back to work. This time, they go to collect money from a boxing club owner. The owner brings forward a massive wrestler, believing that the sight of such a giant would scare Victor into fleeing. But when Johnny effortlessly lifts and slams several of the club's men to the ground, even the wrestler steps back and refuses to fight him. The wrestler advises his boss to pay the money immediately, warning that otherwise Johnny will slaughter them all. After this, Victor takes Johnny to confront an extremely powerful man from whom money is also owed. This man is a major smuggler dealing in heroin. Because of his influence, Victor approaches him with unusual politeness. The smuggler, however, is clever and fully aware that once Johnny's leash is removed, none of them would survive. So before Victor can act, the man grabs Victor and begins beating him mercilessly. All of this unfolds right in front of Johnny's eyes, but Johnny does nothing because the leash is still around his neck. The smuggler instructs his men to kill Victor first and then deal with Johnny later. Saying this, he walks away to attend another business deal. Meanwhile, Victor somehow manages to free himself, rushes to Johnny, removes the leash, and commands him to finish them all. The moment the leash comes off, Johnny attacks with unstoppable fury, brutally killing the goons one by one. More men arrive, but Johnny takes them down as well. Victor then takes Johnny to the place where the smuggler is conducting his business deal. There, Johnny grabs the man and repeatedly throws him around like a lifeless object. Only then does the man's arrogance completely collapse, and he begs Victor to take whatever he wants, pleading for his life and asking to be saved from Johnny. Victor knows that the man deals in gold and diamonds, so he directly empties the bag, taking every piece of gold and every diamond inside. At this point, a man named Tom, who organizes illegal fights, is impressed by Johnny's combat skills. Victor, meanwhile, has already received gold and diamonds instead of cash from the smuggler. Despite this victory, Victor remains furious with Johnny because while he was being beaten inside earlier, Johnny stood there doing nothing. As a result, Victor's men kick Johnny and shove him into the car before taking him back to their base. There, Victor vents his anger to his men, complaining that Johnny stood motionless while he was being beaten in front of him. Victor then turns to Johnny and tells him that he will never change and will always remain nothing more than an animal. Johnny silently listens to Victor's words, standing there without resistance, as though silence is the only language he has ever been taught. Days pass like this, and as punishment, Victor stops giving Johnny food and water for several days. Poor Johnny remains locked inside the cage, starving and dehydrated, surviving on nothing but silence and endurance. After a few days, Victor finally takes Johnny out of the cage because he has to collect money from a man that day. However, Victor is now scared that Johnny might mess things up again. So he first brings Johnny to the location and carefully explains the plan to him. Victor tells him that he will go inside first and ask for the money. If they refuse to pay, Victor will press a button on a remote, which will cause a red light to turn on. The moment the light turns red, Johnny is supposed to enter and attack everyone inside. Victor keeps repeating this instruction again and again in front of Johnny so that it gets firmly planted in his mind that the moment the red light turns on, he must go in. After this, Victor enters the place with his men, while Johnny stands outside, staring straight at the bulb. A long time passes, but the light stubbornly refuses to glow, almost as if the bulb itself is taking a day off from duty. While waiting, Johnny's eyes fall on a broken piano kept nearby. A few days earlier, he had seen a drawing of a piano in a book, so he slowly walked toward it and began touching it gently. Just then, a man named Sam approaches from behind. Sam is blind, a piano teacher by profession, and he also repairs broken pianos. He has come there to fix that very piano. Sam calls Johnny closer and asks him his name, but Johnny does not respond. Sam then tells him that he is a piano teacher and has come to repair the instrument, but for that, he needs Johnny's help. Sam explains that he will stand on the other side of the piano, and when he asks Johnny to press a key, Johnny should do exactly that. In this way, Johnny starts playing the piano while Sam adjusts the tuning from behind. As Johnny plays the piano, he begins enjoying himself immensely, so much so that his attention drifts away from the red light entirely. Meanwhile, Sam suddenly tells Johnny that he can hear a ticking sound in his ears and asks if Johnny hears it too. Hearing this, Johnny instantly turns his gaze toward the bulb and sees that the red light is flickering on and off. Realizing this, Johnny sprints straight toward Victor, but by the time he reaches, it is already too late. The goons have beaten Victor brutally, leaving him in a miserable condition. Victor is now extremely furious with Johnny because he has been turning the red light on for the past half hour. To punish Johnny, Victor brings him back to the base and locks him inside the cage again, thinking about what kind of punishment he should give him. At that moment, one of Victor's men approaches and tells him that someone wants to meet him. Victor refuses, saying he is in no condition to meet anyone right now. However, the man adds that the visitor is extremely wealthy and that they could earn a huge amount of money in return for his work. Hearing this, Victor immediately agrees and asks the man to be sent in. When the visitor enters, it turns out to be none other than Tom, the same man who had seen Johnny fight a few days earlier. Tom tells Victor that he has watched his fighter in action and is impressed by his fighting skills. That is why he wants to propose a deal. Tom explains that he organizes one fight every month. If Victor's fighter wins, Victor will earn more money than he could ever imagine. However, the reason the prize money is so high is because these fights are extremely brutal, and to win, the fighter must kill the opponent. Victor is already angry at Johnny and has been thinking of giving him a harsher punishment anyway, so he accepts Tom's offer. The next day, Victor takes Johnny to the location where the fight is scheduled. Tom approaches Victor and introduces his fighter, boasting that no one has been able to defeat him in the last 15 matches. The fighter looks massive, well-built, and terrifying. When the match begins, Victor removes Johnny's leash and tells him to show his power. Hearing this, Johnny charges at full speed and lands 2 or 3 punches directly on the fighter's neck, putting him to eternal sleep within seconds. Everyone present is left breathless, and Tom, the organizer, cannot even process what just happened because the fight ends before it truly begins. As promised, Victor receives his money, and his happiness knows no bounds because this amount equals his entire year's earnings. He declares that he will now make Johnny fight here regularly and earn a fortune. In his excitement, Victor asks Johnny what he wants. Johnny remains silent for a moment and then says that he wants a piano. Hearing this, Victor laughs mockingly and asks what he would even do with a piano. He offers instead to take Johnny to a fancy restaurant and introduce him to a girl, pointing out that Johnny has never been with a woman. But Johnny insists that he wants nothing except a piano. While they are still talking, a truck suddenly crashes violently into their car, causing it to flip over. Armed men step out and open fire on them mercilessly. These attackers turn out to be the men of the gold smuggler, whom Johnny had beaten a few days earlier. Everyone is killed in the attack except Johnny, who manages to escape and runs straight to the place where he had first met Sam. Sam is sitting there, repairing the piano. Hearing footsteps, he immediately recognizes that it is Johnny. Johnny is severely injured, and due to excessive blood loss, he collapses and loses consciousness. When Johnny regains consciousness, he finds himself lying on a bed inside a room. This terrifies him because he is not used to sleeping on a bed. Victor had always forced him to sleep on the ground inside a cage. Panicking, Johnny crawls under the bed and hides there. After some time, Sam comes there. He immediately senses that Johnny is terrified. Without saying a word, Sam quietly places Johnny's food under the bed and leaves. A few days pass like this, yet Johnny still does not step out of his room. One day, when Johnny finally comes out, he sees Sam playing the piano. But the moment Sam's stepdaughter, Victoria, enters the room, Johnny panics and runs back into his room in fear. Victoria then approaches Sam and asks what Johnny likes. Sam tells her that Johnny loves music. Hearing this, Victoria quickly picks up a small piano and goes straight to Johnny's room. At that time, Johnny is hiding under the bed. Victoria leaves the piano there for him and quietly walks away. Sometime later, while Sam and Victoria are having dinner, Johnny slowly comes out carrying the piano himself. Sam invites him to sit with them and offers him food. However, Johnny starts eating in a very strange manner, not like a human, but like a dog. Watching this, Victoria realizes that Johnny does not know how to eat properly, so Victoria patiently teaches Johnny how to eat using a spoon. Even then, Johnny behaves like a child and drinks the entire soup in one single breath, as if the bowl had personally offended him and needed to disappear immediately. Seeing this, both Victoria and Sam burst into laughter. Johnny has no idea why they are laughing, so he starts laughing loudly along with them, simply because everyone else seems to be doing it. After dinner, when Johnny goes to his room to sleep, Sam comes to him and tries to remove the leash from his neck. But the moment Sam reaches toward it, Johnny immediately stops his hand. He knows that once the leash is removed, he could lose control and might accidentally hurt Sam. Sam does not force him and gently tells him that he can remove the leash whenever he feels ready. The next day, Sam takes Johnny to the market so that he can learn how to interact with people. Sam teaches him how to buy things. After shopping, when they return home, Sam teaches Johnny how to cook food. In the evening, Sam tells Johnny that Victoria's college must be over by now, so he should go and bring her home. Johnny goes straight to Victoria. On the way, Victoria treats him to ice cream, takes him to watch movies at the cinema, and also teaches him how to play the piano. Sam feels genuinely happy with his life now, and Johnny slowly begins to socialize with people. At night, Johnny sees a photograph of Victoria and her parents inside a cupboard. From this, he realizes that Victoria is Sam's stepdaughter. When he asks Sam about it, Sam explains that Victoria's father died in a car accident and that he was Sam's close friend. After his death, Sam married Victoria's mother. Everything was going well, but after a year, they too met with an accident. In that accident, Victoria's mother died, and Sam lost his eyesight. As days pass, Johnny begins to see himself as a member of their family. He starts becoming normal. However, until now, neither Sam nor Victoria has been able to remove the leash from Johnny's neck. One day, Victoria approaches Johnny and, while talking to him, tries to remove the leash. The moment she touches it, terrifying thoughts flood Johnny's mind because he had been trained to kill the instant the leash came off. He is scared that he might hurt Victoria. Victoria tells him that he has already forgotten his past and that this leash is the final chain. Once it is removed, he will be completely free. Victoria gently removes the leash. Nothing happens. Johnny remains calm. He has finally learned to control himself, and he is now completely free from Victor's slavery. The next day, Sam again takes Johnny to the market with him. While they are shopping, a group of goons suddenly enters the market and starts vandalizing everything. Panic spreads and people begin running for their lives. Johnny stays where he is. When the goons try to attack him, Johnny defeats them one by one. Everyone present is shocked to see his fighting skills. After returning home, Sam asks Johnny how he managed to do all this. Johnny then tells Sam his entire story, how a man named Victor kept him like a dog and subjected him to immense cruelty. That night, Sam takes Johnny with him to work, where he repairs a piano. While fixing it, Sam tells Johnny that once Victoria completes her studies, they will return to New York. Hearing this, Johnny becomes sad because he thinks they will leave him alone. But Sam tells him that he wants Johnny to come with them because Johnny is now a part of their family, and without him, their family would be incomplete. Hearing this, Johnny becomes very happy and hugs Sam, agreeing immediately. After finishing the work, Sam gives Johnny some money and tells him that since Johnny helped repair the piano, half of the payment belongs to him. He asks Johnny to go and buy something for himself from the market. Johnny goes straight to the shopping mall and buys things for himself. As he leaves the mall to return home, one of Victor's men suddenly appears in front of him. Seeing him, Johnny becomes uneasy. The man recognizes Johnny and asks where he has been all this time, saying that they have searched everywhere for him. He tells Johnny to come back with him because the boss is waiting. Johnny is very happy with his new life and refuses to go. The man warns him that if he does not return, the boss will send goons who will track him down and kill him. Reluctantly, Johnny returns to Victor. Victor is overjoyed to see Johnny because Johnny is his ticket to wealth. In reality, Victor had been severely injured in the earlier shooting incident and had to stay in the hospital for several months. As soon as Johnny reaches Victor, he asks him whether he knows his mother. Victor replies in the negative and tells him that he found him lying half dead by the side of a road. He says that he raised him, took care of him, and that Johnny is alive today only because of him. Victor adds that otherwise Johnny would have died that very day from hunger and thirst on the roadside. For his own benefit, Victor now starts speaking to Johnny very lovingly because he knows that only Johnny can compensate for the losses he has suffered over the past few months. The next day, Victor once again puts the leash around Johnny's neck and takes him for a fight where they meet Tom. Tom says that today they are going to double the fun of the fight because dangerous weapons will be used during the match. Showing them a fighter, Tom says that Johnny has to fight this man today, who has just killed another fighter a short while ago. Victor does not care who the opponent is because he knows that Johnny can kill him easily. Victor removes the leash from Johnny's neck and tells him to smash the man. But today, Johnny is not in the mood to fight at all. He says that he does not want to hurt anyone. Hearing this, Victor loses his temper and pushes Johnny down into the fighting ring. As soon as Johnny falls inside, the deadly fighter attacks him with the intent to kill. Johnny, however, does not fight back and only tries to protect himself. The fighter launches lethal attacks while Johnny merely blocks the blows. The fighter refuses to stop, as if he has decided that today will end only with Johnny's death. Just as Johnny is about to punch him in anger, he stops himself. Seeing this, Tom asks Victor what his fighter is doing and why he is not fighting. Hearing this, Victor throws an axe into the ring and orders Johnny to kill the man. Johnny does not pick up the axe because he does not want to take a life. Taking advantage of the situation, the other fighter grabs the axe and starts attacking Johnny. Even with an axe in the opponent's hands, Johnny manages to dodge and defend himself with ease. This makes Tom furious, and he tells Victor that he is now going to double the excitement. Saying this, he sends more fighters into the ring, increasing the danger for Johnny. All the fighters together begin brutally beating Johnny, lifting him up and slamming him to the ground. This finally breaks Johnny's patience, and he returns to his old, ferocious state. Johnny then starts attacking them one by one. Seeing this, Tom throws even more weapons into the ring. But now, none of it matters to Johnny. Even together, the three fighters fail to overpower him. Johnny picks up a hammer and shatters one fighter's bones, then rains punches on the second fighter, leaving him severely injured. The third fighter, terrified, gives up and refuses to fight further. When all three fighters surrender, Victor shouts from above, ordering Johnny to kill them, because according to the rules, Victor will not receive any money unless all three are killed. Johnny refuses to obey Victor and spares their lives. This enrages Victor because despite such an incredible fight, he has not earned even a single rupee that day. Furious, Victor takes Johnny back to his base, where his men brutally beat Johnny for disobeying him during the fight. Victor then locks Johnny back inside the cage. On the other side, we see Sam and Victoria, both deeply worried about Johnny and wondering where he has gone. Victoria is especially distressed and says that she had even removed the leash from Johnny's neck and that he had started living happily with them. They have no idea that poor Johnny is once again trapped in a terrible situation. Now we see Johnny locked inside the cage, longing to live with Sam and Victoria. He hates this life completely. Somehow managing to escape the cage, he goes straight to Victor's room, where he finds many photographs while searching the place. Among them, he discovers a childhood photograph of himself standing with his mother. Seeing this, Johnny immediately confronts Victor and asks him how he could claim that he found him on the roadside when he clearly has a photo of Johnny with his mother. Victor then tells Johnny that he will reveal the entire truth. He claims that Johnny's mother was a prostitute who frequently visited him. He says that one day she died, and because he liked her, he raised Johnny like his own son. Hearing this, Johnny immediately understands that Victor is lying. His mother could never have been a prostitute. However, Johnny remains calm and walks away without saying anything. The next day, Victor is about to take Johnny to the fighting ring again when, midway, Johnny suddenly turns the car's steering wheel, causing a horrific accident. After this, Johnny removes the leash from his neck and runs straight to Sam and Victoria's house. There, he tells Victoria that he has found a photograph of his mother. When Victoria looks at the picture, she tells Johnny that his mother appears to be a woman from a very respectable family. She also says that she believes Johnny's mother was a piano teacher because, in the photograph, she is seen playing the piano. Sam is present there as well and listens carefully to their conversation. He asks Victoria what else she can see in the photograph. Victoria observes closely and says that the picture was taken in an auditorium. She describes every detail of the auditorium to Sam. Listening to this, Sam realizes exactly which auditorium it is. After that, all three of them go to the same auditorium where Johnny's mother had taken that photograph. There, an elderly librarian tells them that this woman had come here from China many years ago and was an exceptionally talented piano player. One day, however, she suddenly disappeared without a trace. The librarian also mentions that the woman had a young son, and after her disappearance, no one ever found out what happened to the child either. The old woman then gives them another photograph of Johnny's mother, in which her face is clearly visible. After this, all of them return home. That night, when Victoria enters Johnny's room, she sees him staring at his mother's photograph, lost in memories. Seeing this, Victoria becomes deeply emotional as well. She gently takes the photograph from Johnny and examines it carefully, trying to understand what piece of music Johnny's mother was playing in that picture. To bring a smile to Johnny's face, Victoria asks him if he would like to hear the music his mother used to play. Johnny immediately agrees. Victoria begins playing that piece of music, and the moment the melody reaches Johnny's ears, his childhood memories come rushing back. He starts seeing flashes of his past. He remembers being very young, living with his mother, when one day she quietly hid him inside a cupboard and told him to stay completely silent. Soon after, a group of goons barges into their house, and Victor is among them. Victor starts harassing Johnny's mother because she had taken a loan from him. That day, Victor wants Johnny in exchange for the money. As some of the goons try to snatch Johnny away from his mother, she steps in to stop Victor. Enraged, Victor shoots Johnny's mother and then forcefully takes Johnny away with him. Through this memory, Johnny finally understands that the person responsible for his suffering and for killing his mother is none other than Victor himself. Johnny tells Sam and Victoria everything and urges them to pack quickly and leave the place. He warns them that Victor's men will be searching for him and that if they arrive here, they will kill Sam and Victoria as well. On the other side, Victor reaches the same market where Johnny used to go shopping. He shows Johnny's photograph to an employee and threatens to kill her if she does not give him Johnny's address. Terrified, the employee reveals Johnny's location. Just as Sam, Victoria, and Johnny are about to leave, Victor's goons arrive outside Sam's house. Johnny quickly locks Sam and Victoria inside a cupboard and runs out of the house, entering another nearby home so that Victor does not realize which house Johnny was actually living in. Outside, Johnny begins fighting the goons. They keep coming relentlessly, as if Victor has unleashed the entire city on him. Johnny refuses to give up and kills Victor's men one by one. When Victor sees that all his goons have been killed, he sends his most dangerous fighter to kill Johnny. A brutal fight breaks out between the two. The intensity of the fighter's moves suggests that he knows Johnny's weaknesses, making him a worthy opponent. The fighter beats Johnny mercilessly, leaving him badly injured. Still, Johnny does not give up and continues fighting with whatever strength he has left. After a long and exhausting battle, Johnny finally kills him as well. Seeing all his fighters dead, Victor loses control and comes to fight Johnny himself. The moment Victor sees Johnny, he opens fire on him. Johnny narrowly escapes and runs away, but Victor continues chasing him and enters the house where Johnny had been living with Sam and Victoria. Inside, Victor finds Johnny's leash lying on the floor and immediately realizes that Johnny had been living there. Just then, Victor spots Johnny and points his gun at him. Victor tells Johnny that this is not his home and that he belongs in a cage. He claims that Johnny brings danger wherever he goes and that he has already brought death to these people. Victor then offers him a deal. If Johnny returns with him, Sam and Victoria will be spared. Sam and Victoria silently hear everything. Victor smiles and tries to manipulate Johnny further, holding out the leash and saying that Johnny's real world is not this one, but the cage, where he will be happy. He threatens to kill Sam and Victoria if Johnny refuses. Panicking for their safety, Johnny walks back toward Victor. Just as Victor is about to put the leash on him, Johnny stops Victor's hand and says that this is his home now. With that, Johnny attacks Victor and brutally beats him, driven by the need to avenge his mother. Just as Johnny is about to kill Victor, Sam and Victoria stop him. Victor tries one last time to provoke Johnny by describing the horrific things he did to Johnny's mother. Hearing this, Johnny almost loses control. Before Johnny can kill Victor, Sam knocks Victor unconscious by smashing a flower pot over his head, proving that sometimes justice arrives wearing gardening equipment. With Victor silenced, Johnny finally calms down. Soon after, the police arrive and arrest Victor, sentencing him to life imprisonment. As days pass, Johnny finally finds a new family. He starts living happily, completely free from the hellish life he once endured. At the end of the story, we see thousands of people gathered to watch Victoria's music performance. Before starting, Victoria announces that she is dedicating this music to someone very special. Johnny whispers to Sam that she must be talking about him. Sam smiles and replies that she is actually talking about Johnny, because he is the most special person in her life. Victoria then plays the same music that Johnny's mother had composed. Seeing this, Johnny feels truly happy. And with that, the story comes to an end.